think should be good now. I was waiting for the ads to finish before I spoke up out loud. Hi everybody, happy Wednesday. I hope it is the rest of the night are productive for y'all. I slept a lot. Ton. Putting out the thing on Blue Sky real quick. So while I am putting some things over, I'm putting some things over in some spots. Here we go. Alright. Good time. So yeah, right now the Shoot Lander, not so much. It's a project that we've been picked up for Haitian that I've been working on the back end for a little while. There are certain details that I can't quite talk about yet, but the general sort of gist of the game that I'm working on today is mostly going to how to put this. It is something like one part visual novel, one part how do I describe it? Yeah, sort of new. In the context, less so that like, oh, I'm working on it for the first time ever, and more I've been working on this off stream but haven't like what's the word I'm looking for? Thank you for the squishy. Right, so I've been working on this game for a little while. We are sort of just getting to the point where it's starting to become a little more workable. And I think we've just now hit the point where I'm comfortable like showing a little bit of progress. It is kind of different in style from the type of game that I usually work on. It is, in its more complete form, going to be like one part visual novel, one part other stuff. I guess that's the simplest way to put it. I'll talk a little bit about it as I'm kind of going through, but this is more me working on some back-end stuff as are sort of establishing a couple things. We're pretty light on the asset side, so we're gonna have a lot of text, and I'm going to be showing a lot of like filler portraits at the screen for the stuff that I have sort of like planned for a while. So we're in that stage of what's the word I'm looking for? We're in that stage that I used to tell my students was functionally the hey, worry about your game being pretty after you make sure that it works. That's sort of the spot that we're in. So today is going to be like a lot of like back-end work and not work. A lot of back-end work and not a lot of like super pretty stuff. I'm mostly just kind of like thinking around the guts, getting some stuff done. So it may not be a very long stream, but the plan is to get a little bit of some basics down and get some things down that front. Topic video. Else. Nothing to work on. I can't remember. I actually my boxing other things fit. Alright. Sorry, y'all. I'm just trying to find where specifically did we go from holy orders to no, this is all Blaze Blue. So we didn't switch from Guilty Gear to Blaze Blue. This is all Blaze Blue music. I forgot that I had this album kind of like sitting around. So I was like, oh, this is probably like, oh, this has been here for like a hot minute, but we can probably sit down and just like have that going. Okay. So what was playing that my brain interpreted as holy orders? I don't know. That's a good question. Alright. So okay. Let's see. So, I'm just sort of thinking over how I want to handle this and what I want to do. Because basically speaking, insofar as oh, this music is right. This is all from. I don't even know if the rest of this album exists still, but it's something by an artist named Hikosuke. Um, it is just an 8-bit version of a bunch of songs from first two Blaze Blue games. So Calamity Trigger and Continuum Shift. I think Hikosuke might still be doing work, and I might be able to go find the rest of it if I go look. But I don't quote me on that. Now I'm curious actually, so I'm gonna go look. It was like years ago, so huh. Looks like they still exist. I'd have to go dig it up and really go try to find it, but it looks like they have Calamity Trigger and Continuum Shift. I just never got the full thing. Okay, so it looks like today mostly is going to be some white boxing stuff. I am going to have to arrange a couple things in such a way that we can get some stuff going. So here. The main thing I'm doing right now is that I made a copy of what is the main text window. Turn this down just a little bit. I'm not yelling. Basically, what I've done here is that I've made a copy of the original dialogue window, mostly because I am sort of like honing in on the I'm basically making a smaller version of the main dialogue window for when a specific type of engine happens. So I'm sort of rearranging a couple of things in order to make sure that we have like a smaller version of that set aside and ready. Backlog. There. That make an adjustment on that. Basically, I'm going off of some guidelines that I was provided. Going off of some guidelines that were provided by one of the other people doing art. Lock this. Let's do that. Lock this. Okay. That measurement of this text box that I was given in terms of like what size desired to be at, that number was not correct, I think. Okay. 75 by 60. Okay. I'm thinking about something. There we go. That's gonna be what those text name of the text box of those right here. Reason why we have this big chunk of space left over here is because when doing this interview part, right? When we're doing this interview part that's being discussed here, when we're doing this interview part, that's kind of when we're doing this part of the dialogue, there's going to be another section over here that we need to save for something else. Dialogue system. Let's see. What do I have this script for? I do not remember, and I should see. Nothing yet. That's fine. Probably rename. want is I want to start with introduction. Have the full window. Okay. Main problem mostly is that we can't do 2, and that's the tricky part, and I think I'm gonna have to do that. Okay. I think this is a thing about now, because we now need to consider. Okay. So the reason why I'm pausing here for a second is because I'm sitting and sort of considering. It makes sense. So line view is not going to be any different, right? Like the line view is going to be what it is. The portraits. Because the main thing is mostly text box control, character name, right? I sat and I'm thinking right now philosophically in terms of like how it is that I want to do it. Because I could set up 2 entirely separate, like I did already, where we have the interview size and the full size, right? But as I think about it more, I'm like, maybe it just makes sense, really, do a thing where have the line view, right? I'm gonna try something real quick. Control. Line view. Let's expand this out. And we're going to say because this is the part that I worry about a little bit, right? Because I could do. There are 2 ways that I can handle this, right? Because there should only be really one of these dialogue runners in a given scene, right? I should not have 2. And this is where it gets complicated, right? Because I already have this yarn spinner canvas layer set up, right? So now it's mostly just a question of, right, how is it that I properly sort of control this? Because we have things like text backlog, which will need to display in full screen, right? Should be able to get away with multiple line views. I think it's just a matter of like I gotta make sure that I have to think very carefully about how to make this work out. Sending you my brain cell that I overworked earlier today. Appreciate it, KT. In fact, let me. I don't remember the command, which means I'm going to go look up the command. I know that I have a command for precisely when this sort of thing happens, and my brain is going like, haha, lol, what is it? So, this is here. I need to knife bot my commands. And that's how you can tell it's been too long since I've streamed. I don't even remember my own commands. Like, there we go. Found it. One of the people who's also working with me on this project, one of the people who also works with me in the game dev co-op that I helped co-found. That's KT for you. So, go on ahead, go follow her, go hang out with her. She is also doing work on a different side of this project most days, or doing funny other kinds of like stream stuff on other days. So, you should go hang out. You should go hang out. Be a good idea. So yeah, basically the main thing I'm trying to figure out right now is because this is the tricky part, right? Yeah. So go hang out. Go hang out with her. Make sure you do. Go give her a follow. All that other stuff. Very important. So basically, right now, the thing I'm considering is how to basically set this up in a way that does not cause me a ton of pain in the context of dialogue. I think I have an idea of maybe how I can handle it. gonna try this real quick. Perfect. Y'all should also go hang out with Yuna, because Yuna is also very cool. Okay. I'm not sure why. Oh, right, because I've been away for so long for everyone. Yeah, well, we're glad to have you back. %. I do. No. Technically, the text sound should probably. I probably don't need two. Probably only need the one, right? Yeah. I only need one because that can be shared between the two. I can put this out here. Get rid of it for here. That line views. I mostly just need to do text sound delay, and then put a half screen. Text sound delay, and that works fine. Right? Over here, I'm gonna do button. Here we have half screen line view text. So basically what I'm doing here is I'm going through this and I'm putting on these half screen indicators so that when I'm looking at these inspector things, I know just by looking, right, this needs to be half screen, right? This one we need to be half screen text box control, right? So a lot of this is very purposely making sure that so when I look at a glance, right, I'm not getting them mixed up in terms of like, oh right, what belongs to what, right? So over here, right, I'm gonna do half screen, Karen name, color rect. Over here, for example, I'm also going to do half screen text box color rect. So this way, right, I have like hard controls of like, right, this belongs to this belongs to this for like half screen stuff. Half screen character name control, half screen character name text box, half screen. even here I'm gonna do half screen, right? A lot of this is on purpose, so I can like make sure that I control this correctly. Here is half text backlog canvas layer, right? And the reason why I'm going to all this trouble is because ideally the way that I would like to handle this, right, is that basically depending on which display I need, I do either full screen or half screen, depending. So this one this is full portraits, right? So here. So now, right, whenever we have this, we have full screen portraits. Backlog, then we have the text entry group, all that other stuff, right? Now we can turn off the full screen line view and bam, hit it, right? Now, insofar as this one, we're gonna copy this, come over here, and for line view half screen now, we're gonna make sure we put this over here. We're gonna do half screen portraits here, right? I'm gonna do half screen portrait 1, half screen portrait 2. I think technically we will never have a second portrait for the half screen one, but better to just try to keep things relatively together. Portraits, we're gonna open up this array, put this one over here, and this one over here, right? Okay, Godot is fussing me about this parent common parameter is null. So I'm going to close this real quick. I'm going to reopen Godot and see if it stops getting so like upsetty about that. And then basically the only thing I need to do is figure out a way to set up the oh wait, isn't they took the very sensible stance of saying, yes, it is fine for, like, you know, people that aren't cishet. Yeah, like people who aren't like cishet and you know, living their best lives. Yeah, they should be allowed to live their best lives. A surprisingly controversial take, somehow, for some reason. I can hardly imagine why. For anyone who is like who is either new enough here to like not be aware of why my sarcasm is very dry here. Obviously, as indicated by like both the sign off that I do here and just the general way that I talk about these things. If you've been here long enough, you know that I don't fuck with bigotry. It's just not a thing that I put up with here in this or anything, right? It's just like, hey, like to be entirely clear about that, this is a good and proper safe space for queer people. Straight up. So if that for some reason is a thing that like makes you go, like makes you like squint your nose or whatever, then you can do that somewhere else. Because here is a safe space for that. As much of one as I can make, and as much of one as I can like ensure that it stays. Period. So. Damn, those people wanting to use a part of the English language to use since the beginning of the English language. Yeah, exactly. So, if for whatever reason that is a thing that somehow bothers you, you know, you can always hit the little X button up there at the top of the browser and all that. But no, here, Black Lives Matter, trans rights are human rights, reproductive rights are human rights. that's kind of the score. That is life that I am living. This is that I live. So okay, I think though that we have the parts that are important. So now the only thing I really need to figure out, I need to add another one of these. Line view half screen. Okay, so the only part that's tricky now mostly is making sure that the dialogue runner opens up the correct type of I think this is where we have to do this. I think this is where I have to manage this. 0. Right? So yeah, as y'all can see, because I made those changes over here in the yarn spinner canvas layer, now we automatically have these two things laid out over here. So I think in this script that I have not set up, that I basically didn't really set up super well yet, public enum, dialogue play type full half. Why are we doing this, you may ask, right? And then I think I'm going to rename this script. I think so anyway. Or really? Or no, I could do one better, I think. Cool. I think this is something that the canvas layer itself should know how to deal with. Scripts, UI scripts, I'm going to do create new script. This is just going to be a node. Scripts, UI scripts. Yarn spinner canvas manager. I'm going to call it. And we're going to do this. Well, I'm going to leave that there. I need to check one thing, really. Because it's going to send it to all of these, right? Okay, I got to think about this for a second. Because the part that I'm a little worried about mostly is just because if I run this as it is right now, right? Like, let's say that I come over here to this one, see 0 interest, right? I have editable children. I come over here to the dialogue runner, right? And I say that we start our introduction, right? If I just run this as it is, the main problem we're going to run into is now both of them are displaying, right? So yeah. that should handle that. So basically, the thing that I'm going to have to sort of figure out mostly is how to make sure that this behaves itself. I think I have an idea. Okay. Da-da-da-da. Typewriter signal setups are there. Okay. Thing. Thing variable. enough of that one. This is a good soundtrack, but I'm moving something a little different now because this one's been on for a little while. So I'm gonna bust out an old favorite. Come on. If what I'm doing right now, it's a little bit it's a little bit of like a runaround kind of, but my main idea here is mostly that I want to set up a canvas manager so that I can more precisely control um, I should do it on. I should have done it on this one. Otherwise, it's not going to propagate. I'm gonna save this here. Come over here to the intro scene. So, what I'm doing here, right, is that I am very deliberately sort of setting up this canvas manager script so that I can control, right, whether or not the dialogue window starts full size or half size. And that's very much on purpose, right? Now over here in the canvas layer, I'm going to turn off both of these, right? And we're going to see if my idea worked or not. If I did this correctly, what should happen is when I run this, because I've said the dialogue size should be full, then all things being equal, unless I forgot something, which I did. Oh, right, I should turn that off. Or rather, the thing I should do is, rather than leaving it up to the yarn spinner canvas layer, I need to here turn this off. And now let's try this again. Not valid for if I messed something up. Okay, hold on a sec. That's what I forgot to do. I should also make sure that options view configured correctly. So I need to configure it correctly. Full screen, that one's fine. For half screen, it's not. Because I think for half screen, I never reconfigured. Half screen, yeah, didn't do it correctly. So. Asking one. Okay, there we go. Okay. So I think with that sorted out, I mostly just need to come over to the line view itself and basically just come down to where it says that the dialogue starts and then say that visible is... dialogue complete, and then just oh, false. With a little more check. If current, if dialogue display type equal. There we go. And now, I think this should work better. Almost. Okay, so the real question is, why are they both turning invisible? Ah! That's why. I know why. I'm like, why are they both turning visible? I had to stop and think for a second and go, did I ever come over here and configure the other one to say half? I didn't. Ah, broke something. Okay, give me 1 second. I gotta think what I broke here. Okay, which means where do I put that? Okay. I gotta see something. So toggle backlog. This. Nope. That's not the one I want. I need to look for next entry. Ah, that's what I was worried about. Okay, but I think this is doable. Because this one, thankfully, is... I think I can set this up. If I do... Here we go. this is where it gets tricky. This is where it gets tricky. Because I'm gonna have to do a little bit of routing now. This is where I'm gonna have to do a little bit of routing now. I think I see it. So, Yarn Spinner Canvas Manager. So, here's the problem. I wrote the text entry with the initial expectation that there's only one type of view dialogue, that it was only ever going to be 2 or 3 or multiple people talking visual novel style, right? Because of that, this instance setup that I did, it doesn't work so well. I have to kind of reconfigure this around a little bit in order to make sure that I am calling and setting up the correct thing. Otherwise, it doesn't work so well. However, if I'm careful with the Canvas Manager, I can skirt around this a little bit. Or I can do it in the actual... there are 2 ways I can do this. Close that for a second. Hey Cal, how you doing? Hopefully well. So basically I have 2 options here, right? Either I can add it in for the line view, or, right, it depends. I have options, right? I think it probably makes more sense for each line view to know about its own text entry group. I think for reasons of like relative safety, I think it makes sense for each of those, like for each line view to know about its own. So I'm going to open up the line view script. This is general configuration. I should in general config. Gonna come. Yeah. I think we'll do that. So we'll do back in backlog variables and classes right here. Right, sound playing variables right there. This one is in text entry configuration and region export text. This one export roll tag. I'm gonna do export go. Or, no, I should do line view project DNA, because that's the working title of this project. That much I can say. Like, this is not the actual name of the project. I cannot disclose that yet, so I will not. This is the project name, as insofar as like the working code name one. What the actual name is, I cannot disclose right now. This is. Void set active line. Do not announce the That's also true. Okay, good. Now, here. So basically, what I'm doing right now is a very long-winded way of working around one of the limitations that I inadvertently put on myself before, which is, it happens, right? Like right now, we need to be able to like change the entry field title and do all this other stuff, right? So what we're going to do basically is we're going to set this up in the Yarn Spinner Canvas Manager so that it can pick these things off accordingly, right? Or, yeah, we're going to set these up in the Yarn Spinner Canvas Manager so that it can do these things accordingly, because its job is to manage the canvas for the line view, basically. Because we could, right? Oh, don't do that, please. Hang on a second. That's a phone call. Alrighty. Okay. Thank you for the welcome back. Appreciate it. So, right, the thing that I'm doing right now is, basically speaking, I'm trying to migrate a couple of things out of this text entry script so that trying to migrate a couple of things out of this text entry script so that being able to open up the actual name of things like can work correctly. So let me see here. But the tricky thing about that is that I need to make sure that I link these things correctly. Okay, good. And that means I mostly just need to get yeah, I gotta take the statics out of these because they're not going to work correctly. Yeah, I should put them in here. So what I'm going to do over here now is text entry configuration. This needs to be public still. So public get So what I'm gonna do basically is I'm gonna take these yarn commands and move them out of the text entry script and put them into the yarn spinner canvas manager. So I'm not gonna get rid of the actual body of it, but I'm gonna take the commands themselves and move them accordingly. So let's do in yarn commands and region. over here in the canvas manager, we're going to do this. We're going to do public static void all entry title. Instance dot active line view dot text entry title. Right? What's going to happen now, basically, is that we're going to pass off. What we're doing here, basically, is... If I can find where I put it. Here it is. Right. So you see how it's like, here I'm doing this, and then the save target. So, like, here, right? Well, I guess technically I don't even need this anymore because it was working without that. So this, right, is what we're routing now. It used to live over here. But what we're doing now is that we are routing that out of the text entry script and we're routing it into the canvas manager. Because the canvas manager, there's only ever one canvas manager. So it will be easier for the canvas manager to go, okay, whatever my current line view is, give me the thing for that, right? Don't think we need this one anymore. Not gonna delete it yet, but I'm not gonna do that just yet. Alright. Now, canvas manager, we're gonna come over here, we're gonna do yarn command. It's very important that we take the yarn commands exactly as they are, because otherwise I'll have to rewrite other chunks of the code, which I do not want to have to do. Public static all entry field ability toggle. And the reason why I'm naming these the way that I am is so that I see for myself, right, these functions are calling. So instance.activeLineView.TextEntryNode. this might not work. That might be a horribly overdone thing, and it may not work correctly. Okay, let's see if that... I think that might have done it. Make sure I get rid of this. So, if I did this correctly, then I should have basically managed to rewire everything to run... I should have managed to rewire everything to run correctly. Do this canvas manager. So now the only thing really left to do is to try the intro scene and see if this works now. Object. Okay, fine. Fun. Share this. That's what it is. So I was like, I probably forgot to assign something, and I did. So over here, I need to assign two things. It's on me. I forgot in the text entry configuration, right? We need text entry here for this one. And for the half screen, same thing. It's because I literally forgot the text entry. Okay. I think that should catch the worst of it now. It almost works. It almost works. Start may not be called on a promise style task. That's the only thing I was worried about. Okay, cool. Cool, cool, cool. I have a way around this. It's going to be a little bit ugly, but I can do this. A little ugly, but I think it might work. Try this again. Yes. Yes. Yeah. Figured it out. So yeah, the main character's name is Naomi, and basically her whole job is to basically be like to put it simply, a family history artisan is the way that I would put it. Her whole thing is that for people who are looking to and then it jumps over to the next spot and all that other stuff. So that part works. Okay, cool. Which means there's one other thing I want to do. I'm gonna do. Okay, so what I should do. Yeah, I need public delegate on dialog. And then I think this big, right? here, now we're gonna do public static void here's what we're gonna do now. Right. I have to be yarn command also. So the nice thing is that with yarn commands, I can do this regular call and it will still work fine, or I can do the yarn command call, right? So here I'm gonna do yarn command. We're gonna call it switch. Dialog display. Right. We're gonna cast this to gonna do how do you do this? My brain is having a fart. Time to go look it up real quick. No. So 5 and 6. There we go. Let me sit down and comment some code. Current instance of the yarn spinner canvas manager. Current dialog. Line view for when dialog buttons while it is active. Dialog runner for this canvas go to reference. Active line. variables, export general configuration, and signals and region signal when the dialog a type is right. Set the current of the campus. Start dialog immediately. That's it. That's time view. All text entry field to change title. If text entry that would have been active on already called hide it. It would be backlog. Else, if it is not already visible, called turn off the ability to backlog. Hide backlog if text. off and that only. Here. Save context. Alright, that should handle that. Alright, so we don't need this over here anymore, nor do we need the resume node, so we can get rid of those. Okay, good. Yeah, then we can get rid of this, and then also this. Cool. Oh, that should be handled now. Okay, so the only other thing I really need to do at this point is in the process function, I can do. Oh no, not even that. I'll do it over here in line viewer functions. Is public void check course check types. Very simply, if all we're doing here, and this is one of the things I like about Yarn, about Godot in general, really. So with Godot, signals are really wild and kind of tricky to get used to, but if you do this correctly, you basically get to work around certain things in a very cool sort of way. So, speaking, so we're going to do something very simple here, right? Do instance dot. Oh, incorrect. We're going to do yarn spinner canvas manager dot instance dot. I don't think signals can be static. I could be wrong about that. Let's go do something silly. I'm gonna do something silly. Yeah, that's what I thought. Can't do that, which is fine. We're gonna do this. We're gonna do not child order change, but on dialog. We're gonna do check for a display type switch. Very simple, right? And all this is a signal setup to make sure that line views and own. So I should change this. Check for dialog is really what that's for, right? So all this really means is that now, for example, I can do, if, for example, I were to come over into this yarn script. So I have the intro.start where we do all the naming and all that stuff. That's fine, right? If I were to go over now to our first thing, right? Over here, and I can do change. The only hard part, right? I have to make sure I have this right. So this is which dialog type. And then we're gonna come over on Arial, which we did already, right? So now I can get rid of this interview size one, I guess, because we don't need that now. Yep, don't actually need that anymore. Now what we're gonna do is I'm gonna add yarn spinner. There we go. Instance that. The children are editable, and we're gonna put over here Maybe I can cheat. Comment that off right now because it's not working the way that I would like. Okay. So I need to turn that down in the base one, which I can do. Shouldn't be too hard. Okay, not do that one. Here. Right. And this is exactly the way that I wanted it. So the half screen one, I'm reasonably certain that we are not going to have to. So I'm reasonably certain that we're not going to have 2 portions. I don't think. But just to be safe, I'm gonna... Where is it? Out. Form. Layout. Transform. I need... Okay, let's try this again now. Because the basic idea is that once we have the rest of our like assets, this part over here, that's this big empty space, right? That is where you're going to be able to see the layout of your own office, right? Because in the whole process of like, yeah, I do these things for these people, right? Well, let me double check and make sure I didn't like... I was afraid of this part. That something here would break for making choices because I changed something, but let's... that I was afraid that the options list view wouldn't work correctly. That's the part that I was afraid of. That once I put in multiples, or hold on a second. I think I might know how to fix it. Maybe. That one. Line view. Dialog runner. Maybe that will fix it if I reorder them, but there's a good chance that it might not. Yeah. Yeah. I thought it was something like that. So, I think, right, with that rearranged, that more or less handles it. I think probably don't need half an option. We don't need a half screen options view. I don't think. I'm gonna go get rid of that. The only annoying part now is that we need to make sure we're gonna have to come back over here and get this thing to make. Mostly because the issue that we're running into now is that because of that, ordering them the way that I did seems to have caused a thing where... Well, I'm going to try this one more. Something about that feels like it's off somehow. Okay, so why is it showing both of them is the question. Alright, hold on. Oh, that's why. Because that was overriding it. I'm like, why is it doing that? It's like, because I left it open in the actual scene view. Okay. So now, whoops. So now the question is, why is mode? Oh, that's why. Hang on. Silly me. Very, very silly me. It's because the reason why we can't see it is because this is my fault. I put the option view, I put the option list view inside of that one, inside the full screen one. So of course you can't see it because like it's in there. So I'm just gonna do this real quick. And now, when we do it over here, it should display at like full screen. And now we get this to show up correctly, right? Say, all right, what's your ideal outcome? Right? And now we basically have to sit down and sort of like process through which things Ariel might be interested in. And once we figure those out, we can say, I think this is enough. We can pick any number of things that we want as long as we pick at least one. And then we'll run through, right? We'll run through each option, even the ones that we didn't pick, but depending on what we said, right, Naomi says different things in terms of like what makes sense or what doesn't. Right? So, basically speaking, now that I've put it all together, we are basically in a position where, right, when we are actually ready for it, the other half of that screen will be filled with like um, the other half of that screen will be filled with stuff that we can use for like laying out our office space and all that other stuff, so that people can like get an idea of like, oh yeah, I'm laying out my office space, it looks very nice. And then we'll display it half screen with the rest of that text as your dialogue with whoever comes to visit goes on, and so on and so forth, right? That's the plan. So mostly I was preparing all of this for that today, primarily. I think that there's probably a way where I can, especially now that like, basically the only tricky thing is to make sure that we actually register, because I'm not sure. Let me see something real quick, because we are almost done, but I do not think that, I'm trying to think, I'm not sure if signals are, oh, okay, signals are publicly available here, so I think I can cheat a little bit and do this over here. So here's what I'm gonna do. Here, I'm gonna connect it. And then we're gonna do the same thing for the half screen also. I sat and thought about it for a minute, like, wait a minute, if this is a signal, I should be able to wire them manually, I think. So, right? Reason why this matters. So while I wasn't able to do it in code, right? Like I can't do this because it gets angry and goes, no reference exception. I don't know what the heck that is. Fair, right? However, I think with the way that I have just done it, I should be able to, while like the game is actually running, manually switch to dialogue type if I want or need. So why this matters. So over here, right, in Ariel's scene, I manually set it to half. If I start from the intro scene, however, provided that like I did all of this correctly, if I start from the intro scene, it should now still switch from one to the other. Yeah, and so now, as y'all can see, right? Right? Now, within the same contiguous scene, I can very easily switch, right? I can very easily switch those up and kind of like go from there, right? So while we had a separate, like I have a separate scene set up for half, just to make sure that like I can sit down and like look things through. I call that a success. So we're gonna call it there. Because it's like 9/11, and I wanna like it's time for me to find other stuff to do. So alrighty. I'll figure out where we're gonna go hang out, because obviously we're gonna go hang out in some spots. Let me just clock my time for this. Alright. Thank you for the team to get the ability. Thank you, Cal. I appreciate it. Okay. So I'll figure out where we're gonna go hang out now. I close all this other stuff out. Okay. Okay. I went to go check on a thing, and now I'm going to go check another thing, as in where are we going? So while I do that, here are some things for y'all to think about. I know it still says co-host over there. I'm planning to, at some point, like, you know, get a NeoCities running, and that's where game analysis and design articles and stuff are going to live. I just got to figure out how to get a NeoCities up and running with a blog template in a way that doesn't make me scream when I want to update it. But you can read some of my past game design posts over at Medium. In the meantime, stream VODs are up at youtube.com/@SJDisgames. My Ko-Fi, if you want to support me in the stream but don't want to give money to Amazon or Jeff Bezos, is over there. It goes toward groceries and housing and all sorts of other miscellaneous. I much prefer Ko-Fi subs over Twitch subs, but, you know, either or. It is easier for me to get constant payouts from Ko-Fi than it is from Twitch. Throne has various stream gifts that you can use, that you can help contribute to, whether on your own or by crowdfunding. And then my card has all my other social media links. These days, now that Blue Sky has basically replaced co-host for me as my where do I post joint, if you want to follow me and see the things that I'm doing, I'm over there. That's the way that works. So, all that to one side. Let me see who we're gonna go hang out with. I think I'm pretty sure I know who we are gonna go hang out with. We haven't gotten to raid them in basically freaking forever. It's been like a hot minute. Haven't had a chance to because we have not been streaming concurrently in a hot minute. Okay, yeah. We're gonna go hang out with BB Wolf. He does freelance illustration, professional voice acting, and basically plays like a variety of games. Currently, the reason why we're going to go hang out with people because at least in Pines should be a thing that she's doing, I think, right now. That is the plan. But it might be story time also, so it may be a minute before she goes back to playing it. But we'll see when we get over there. Alright, other things. If you want to know more about Munity, which is the game dev co-op that I helped co-found, that is working on the game that I was working on today with y'all, as well as Shoot Lancer, the other project that we're working on kind of at the same time, you can check out our site at munity.games. You can join our Patreon, either the free tier or the paid tier. And if you want to play Shoot Lancer itself, we have a pay what you want prototype up on our itch page. The game that I'm working on now, that I cannot say very much about, like what, when or where it will be playable. There are things, not in a bad way, but there are things that are kind of like around that deal a lot with, I can't tell you until X date, at which point I can confirm, deny XYZ things. So this is basically the only place where you're going to get to see the development of that game. But if you want to try out Shoot Lancer, on the other hand, go over to that itch page and go check that out. Last but not least, if you want to hang out with me while stream isn't going, join us on Gilded. We basically hang out on Gilded and watch anime on Saturdays and just generally kind of like keep chill, quiet otherwise, and have us a good time. Anyway, thank y'all for coming by. We're gonna go hang out with BB Wolf, and if not Beacon Pines things, I imagine that maybe she'll like bust out some other like artistic related thing or something else that will be nice and chill to sort of like have a good time. So when we raid over there, give her an SJH does raids. Let her know who sent you. Go any of your emotes. They don't have to be my emotes. Stream plans. Very important. This upcoming Friday is probably Street Fighter 6 again. Next week, listen to the words that are coming out of my mouth. Next week, Friday, on the other hand, by then, we should have our hands on none other than Queen Dizzy for Guilty Gear Strive Season 4, alongside what looks like is going to be a really wild-ass balance patch in like the best possible way. So next week, Friday, we're playing some Guilty Gear Strive. We're back, baby. We're so back. But this upcoming Friday, 6 p.m. Eastern Time, is going to be more Street Fighter 6. This upcoming Sunday at 5 p.m. Eastern Time is more Shin Megami Tensei Nocturne HD Remaster. And then next week, Wednesday, will be probably more game down with this game. So, until next time I see y'all, whenever that is, stay safe, wash your hands, wear a mask. Don't go outside if you don't have to. Be excellent to each other. But not too bigots, racist, terrorists, sexists, anti-queer folks, or Zionists. I said it before, but I'll say it again. Black Lives Matter. Trans rights are human. Collective rights are human. Palestine, Sudan, the Congo, and New Caledonia must all be free. That's how I feel. That's my thing. That's my shit. So, thank y'all for coming by. Really appreciate it. Take care and stay safe. You hear? Catch you on the flip side. Deuces.